I don't know about you, but I am quite lazy when it comes to crafts that I want to make. And the last couple of ones that I have made, one, that really cool like flower stand with the book, absolutely loved it. Followed a guide. Definitely follow a guide if you're kind of new to like crafting. But the other ones that I made were those like bookmarks, right? It's just quotes out of canvas. It was just stitching words on a canvas. They weren't that like imaginative. But when I was doing the bookmarks, I thought like of those cute little felt corner ones or those little fabric corner ones, right? Like these. I want to make those. Alice is going to start getting noisy. I'm not distressed, don't worry. Whenever I start talking too fast or too loudly, she probably thinks I'm like distressed or something. My manager's here, she'll be very helpful. Anyway, I wanted to make one of those little corner bookmarks. I figure how hard could it be? And I'm looking at all the pictures and then I look at the guides and I'm like, oh, there is more fabric than I thought. It's a square at the back. It's not just little corner triangles. Depends on how you make them. I found a guide. Anyway, I found a guide to help me make these little bookmarks and I'm hoping it'll only take about like a day or so. I'll admit I don't know. I do want to hand stitch them, mostly because I just don't have a machine. So I have no idea how long this is actually going to take. I'm shooting for making them in about a day. We'll see how that goes. Now I need to commit the internet sacrilege, break some laws, and move my cat because she is in the way. I am so sorry, darling. I know you're going to hate me for this. Are you going to move on? No, you're getting comfier. And you're just kicking my stuff. Like, oh. It's on the bed if you want it. I need the book too. Oh, you are not going to be helpful. Okay, she can stay for now, but hi. So I have my little guide of what to kind of follow along, and I'll post the link of this in the description where I found it. Just in regards to things and fabric, I found a couple of really nice ones. This like really pretty celestial moons and planets. And I also found this is really nice like textured purple. So this will be like the inside lining bit. And now I need to cut. And now I need to cut into it, right? I need to cut. Do I have my scissors? I need to cut 4-inch squares out of the pattern fabric and the lining and the interfacing ones. And I don't have one of those like grid things. I wish I did, but I do have this. I do have this bad boy, and I know you like sticks. Doesn't matter what kinds of toys I buy them. You know how it goes. They will want anything else. Literal garbage. Not this. I need to move you, darling. I need to move you. Okay, 4-inch squares of these. I believe like 2 each. I should iron it beforehand, but I do have to iron it later anyway. So, note to self, pens to mark things, but I did get these. These will probably help. I did pick up some pins, but I'm also scared of the pins because of the cats. Mark a little grid along the edge with these little clips. Once I get one square, I could just do this as like a test thing out of a piece of paper and then use that as a template. Hold on. That's so much smarter than using the actual fabric. I'm new at this. Template. Also, I can probably just draw on the back. Okay, and then one for the lining. Okay, so I got my little bits of fabric. I got my little squares. Now it says I have to do interfacing, cut out those of just the same size, saving the little squares. And I'm gonna do that real quick. Oh, this is a lot. I think I bought a little bit more than I needed. This has rolled over several times. That's okay, we can save it for future projects. Put you right up in the corner. There is another project I'm thinking of doing, which is just like another little bag. I have a bag, but I don't like it. It's too big. So I actually want to see if I can make it smaller. And I think this interfacing will also help in that project as well. So that's good. Note to self, maybe invest in some crafting fabric scissors, because these were okay, but not gonna lie, going through the fabric, there was a moment where I'm like, it's partially dull in the middle of these. So either find a way to sharpen those, or if I want like, if I continue more fabric-y stuff, get actual fabric scissors. Okay, interfacing. And I need to cut one of these squares diagonally to make a little triangle. I do kind of love these pins. I love these little clips. Okay, so now I have all of my little pieces. Got all my little bits and bobs. I just need to iron on the interfacings to each piece. And I'll admit the iron is in another room, so I'm gonna go do that and I'll be right back. Hi, I figured you guys might enjoy me blundering a little bit because I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna happen. The entire concept of sewing to me is like awesome, but I never understood the whole like, I need to layer this thing backwards, upside down kind of, with the wrong sides facing outward and the right sides facing inward, iron them all together again so that I can flip them all out. And then it's the right side. I'm just making a bookmark. I didn't think it would be this difficult, but I will admit it is tripping me up a little bit. Okay, hi. So back here. I will admit it was probably either my inexperience or maybe the iron not working. It was probably me. I will fully admit it was probably me. It took a while for the interfacing to actually stick to the fabric. I don't know if it's just the interfacing I got, or again, probably just user error. First time I've ever used it. But we've got everything together. And now is actually the fun part that I wanted to do, which is actually stitching it together. I'll admit the guide also didn't say if the string is going to be visible, if the thread is going to be visible. If it is, I'm just going to use a simple black. So that's fine. Let's see how this goes. This is the part I actually wanted to do. Also, I'll admit the only string I have is like cross-stitching embroidery floss. I think it's fine. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but also I can see why it wouldn't be, because most of the times, you know, it's the spool thread. I don't really know what the difference is, but I'm also doing this by hand, so maybe I want this kind. I'm kind of figuring this out as I go, okay? Any advice? Any advice? I am all ears. Okay, I am trusting in my cross-stitching ability right now. I'm not going to cross-stitch this, obviously. I think I'm going to use a running stitch, which is just the simple in and out one. It also says, that's why I've got like this space marked off. You need to leave that open because then you're going to turn it inside out. So let's see how this goes. Let's get comfy and see how this goes. I'll admit I'm also giving myself a lot of, I guess, seam allowance, space in between the edge because I am nervous. It's just me being nervous. Keep them close together. I hope. I think I could do a back stitch, which would help like strengthen it, but I'm not confident in my abilities yet to figure that out. I'll admit, I did already stab myself once. Oh, I hooked around a thing. It's all right, we're fine. I hooked around the corner. Oh, that's annoying. It's not professional at all, but that's all right. If you can't make crafts badly, that's the only way you get better. So make them badly at first. It's also not stab my fingers again. Okay, that's fine. You know what? This is also going to take a little while. So I am going to get comfy over on the couch and throw on a movie. Or listen to the Magnus Archives. I might listen to the Magnus Archives. I'm listening to the Magnus Archives actually for like the first time. I know it's been out for a while and I've always heard about it on like the internet spheres, but I've never listened to it. I don't know why. I just missed it. So now I'm going back to it. And yeah, it's creepy. It's good. They're good short stories. I love the overarching stuff poking through already. I'm only like 20 episodes in. But just off the top of my head, the best episodes I've had to come across right now are like, it was a spelunking episode. And, oh, I'll admit, the one with I'll just say the meat room. If you know what I mean, early on in the Magnus Archives, you'll know what I mean. That one just made me go, huh. Okay, that didn't take as long as I thought it was going to, but that was kind of a nice little bonus. I did leave a little pocket here open because it's like a funny little hot pocket, because now we need to turn it inside out, right side in. You know what I mean. I'll admit I don't really understand how, so I'm just gonna hope for the best. I'll admit my stitch work kind of wobbly, but I think. Oh, it said to trim the corners. Wait. Okay, we're back to square one. It said to trim the corners. It said to trim the corners, I think to help with like bulkiness, which I mean, makes sense. Trying to make sure they don't just go like everywhere. They still went everywhere. Okay, corners have been trimmed. Everything's been stitched. Let's. I was on a roll there. It was almost inside out. Let's try to do that again. Where did that little. There's a little thing. Okay, let's just. That's probably just my stitch job making it kind of. Not great. It's fine. I think one corner is sharper than the other. One is definitely more pointed than the other, which I'll admit though, it's a cute little pocket. And then what do I do about the interfacing bit on the inside here? Because I think it wants a running stitch or it wants to close it up. No, it says top stitch around the next edge, which I think is the, yeah, to close the opening. That folded in, okay. It's not a perfect square anymore, but actually this time I won't use black, I'll use the purple that I like. Just to hide it a little. Wait, top stitch, I'm allowed to go over top of it, right? Is that how that works? I could just, look up what a top stitch is, as opposed to guessing, but that worked. So she's a little bulky, but not gonna lie. I'm still proud of it. It's not perfect, but like, for my first little hand-sewn little project of just a bookmark, I think it turned out okay. Next time, I will definitely be more careful with my sizes and the little square template I had because they were a little off. I will actually research how to do proper hand stitches, hand sewing stitches. But for winging it, I think we did okay. There is another project I have in mind that I want to do, which is, one of those cute little like cozy like book bags. Ow. I got under my nail. I should have a thimble. I have a thimble. I'm not using it. But it's one of those little cozy book bags. Because I got this bag and it's too big. So I want to try to use this bag and like recycle it into something smaller, but I love the design on the front of said bag, so I want to like integrate that pattern, that picture into the new bag. So hopefully, at least by then, I'll have a bit more experience of hand sewing under my belt. Almost got caught on something, but we're okay. So I've always kind of just found this satisfying. Just the seeing it just come together, not properly because I am very new at this, but it's just satisfying seeing the end of it close out. Okay. Loop around that way, make a little knot. I'm going to see if I can kind of weave, at least when I do cross stitch ones, to kind of get it in there, make sure this is nice and secure, and hopefully the knot does not give way. Okay, cool. She's asymmetrical. It's fine. It's fine. It's honestly really pretty. I'm glad about the fabric that I picked out. I think the stitching is okay. It's not perfect. But like, for my first little attempt, that's not bad. You know what though? If I do learn how to make these like better, I'm gonna need to make dozens of them. Because whenever I pick a bookmark for a book that I'm reading, it kind of needs to match the book's vibe. I'm sure there are other people who do that too, but whenever I need a new bookmark with a new book, it needs to match the vibe. It's not mandatory, sure, but I think that's why I've been enjoying making my own bookmarks. Because this is definitely like a sci-fi spacey one. I got the Murderbot Diaries, it would work in there. But yeah, now once I get a little experience under my belt and learn how to really make these, like really well, oh, I'm gonna have so many little bookmarks. But anyway, yeah, thank you for joining me on my little experiment in learning how to hand stitch something for the first time and kind of learning how to do interfacing. Not easy for me at the moment, but we will figure that out. And in the meantime, feel free to like and subscribe. I forgot to mention that part until now, but yeah, do the YouTube liking and subscribing stuff if you like. Next week will be a normal book review again, but then the week after that will be hopefully that little book cozy bag, which is like this, but obviously big enough to hold an actual book. So we'll see how that one goes. I'll be more careful with my measurements next time.